What are the best races? Let's talk about them. I have to say that I'm specifically talking about the Races version 2 in One Fruit Simulator and not races in real life, because I would get cancelled if I was to talk about them. So, in the recent events, the Races version 2 have been added to One Fruit Simulator, and they all have different buffs. So let's look at them and see if they are worth grinding for. Because the grind is so long, it has been 2 days, even with admin help. So, humans. The stats are 30% stat gain, the original one was 15%, so it's increased double the stat gain. Not double the bonus. Also 15% XP coin mastery. So if you need to grind anything for a leaderboard, like coins, you would probably need human. 30% drop chance. I have to say that this is not adding 30%. Like if a drop chance is 5%, it won't become 35%. It will just add 30% of that 5%, which would mean it becomes like 6.5% because it had 1.5%. 35% to all fighting styles. It is pretty good, but not like the best. Then there is 50% for Black Leg style. Both version 1 and version 2, which means Black Leg and Demon Leg. And then Conqueror's Haki damage increased from 6.1 times to 6.7, or PvE only. So this will not give you any advantage in PvP, but for the grind, like PvE and like leaderboard, this is the best style that you can get. Fishman! 7 times speed in water, so you can swim real fast. 100% damage reduction from water, so you do not take any damage from water even if you are a Devil Fruit user. 50% damage to both Fishman styles, which means the Fishman style version 1 and Shark Karate will do more damage. A lot more damage. You also receive 15% damage reduction in PvE and 5% in PvP, and doubles under 35% HP. So if your HP is very low, you would have 30% damage reduction in PvE and 10% in PvP, which is not as good as some on the list, but is like pretty damn good. Probably also good to pair it with Revive. Oh, not really, because the next thing is increased damage by 25% while in water, so Revive will not really help you because you run on top of water. This would be good for PvP if you try to force a battle into water, but in most cases you will be dashing over the water in PvP, so it's not that good. But it would be extremely good for grinding sea beasts for the other race awakenings and stuff like that, because you get bonus damage in water and can swim to the locations very fast. But I don't really think that this race is worth grinding for. Sky People. Plus 15 sky jump, so you can really go far. Increase sky jump distance by 25%, so you can jump higher. This probably could be paired well with like 6 style, so you can just go jumping around like crazy. 70% flight speed. It's good for exploring the map, and like if you want, you can just like speed through the collecting eggs for Easter. I will make a video on that later. It could be good for like granting different NPCs in different parts of the map. 50% damage to dial style. nobody is really using dial style because there is no awakening for it. That isn't very useful. When instead of every 5 seconds regenerate one observation charge, you regenerate every 2 seconds. This could be good for PvP, and also increases the dodges by 10%. So instead of like max being around 1445, that's the max dodges that you can get right now, it would be like 1600. Yeah, it would be 1589 and a half. I don't know how they are gonna do the half, but it probably rounds to the lower. The regeneration dodges every 2 seconds, makes it faster, so like if you are grinding Sea Beast, you don't have to reset every few kills, and it will regenerate really quickly. And it is decent for PvP, unless they kill you during the observation break or something like that. Cyborg takes only 1.5 times damage from water now, instead of 2 times the normal. But you still get increased damage from being in water, so can't stay there very much. So you would have to have like revive or ice or something that can walk on water instead. 30% damage reduction in PvE and 5% in PvP. This makes you very tanky. Could be also paired well with Buddha fruit to get extremely high damage resistance. 50% damage to Cyborg style. It could be one of the strongest in the game. While under 35% HP, receive 30% damage reduction in PvE and 10% in PvP. So that just doubles the normal one. This is good for PvP if you wanna be like the tanky type, who just uses Buddha and doesn't take like any damage at all. But it doesn't provide any like movement capabilities or like huge damage increases. So it isn't the best style. Mink style is mostly focused on speed and dodges. So it's 25% dodge chance in PvE, 5% in PvP. Before it was 5% in PvE and 1% in PvP. Oh, PvE is 5% and 1% in PvP. 30% movement speed, I think it was 20% before. 50% increased damage to Mink style. So the new electric style that was just added, it would be really strong with it. And for like race versus one version 1, it's 5%. While under 50% HP, increases speed by 30% and dash by 25%. So even more speed the lower HP you go. Under 10% HP, dodge is 50% for PvE, 10% for PvP, which doesn't make it extremely good, but you can work around it if you just like to zoom around the map or like dash around. But it doesn't really provide any damage capabilities except from Mink style. Now Oni, probably one of the best styles for the damage. It provides 20% buff to any source of damage, 15% less damage received from both PvE and PvP, which is the biggest damage reduction for PvP you can get out of all these races. Increase for Conquest Hockey damage from 6.1 to 7 times in PvE and 2 times to 2.5 in PvP, and 50% buff soul damage by 30% instead of 20%, while under 35% receive damage reduction becomes 30% less in PvE and 20% less in PvP. So I think that Oni would be like the best for like damage and PvP. I'm not sure if it's worth it due to the amount of essence it requires. So let's get to the what I think is the most worth races to grind for. I would say the best race you could grind for is Human, because it provides a 30% increase in drop rate. which is the highest you can get from anything. Like the accessories, you can use is the biggest is 20%, and this is 30%. It also provides 30% stat gain, which would be really good going forward. And like for PvE, it is one of the best things you can get, and costs 150 essence, and might be the most common essence to drop. I am not sure about that one, but that's what I recommend. The Oni is good because it provides a lot of damage and damage reduction, and Sky People is good for mobility and dodge regeneration, and I think it's pretty cheap at 100 essence. So, and for PvP, Oni is definitely one of the best ones, because you get a lot of damage increase and then damage reduction, as well as the Conqueror's Haki damage increase. And you also get more when your HP is low. Mink is good because of the dodge chance and the amount of mobility you get. Cyborg is good due to the damage reduction, you can be extremely tanky with it. Sky People is good because of dodges increase and the speed at which they regenerate. And Fishman race is very good, but only in specific situations where you are in water, which would make you sort of like a sitting duck, because you can't really like fly around, dodge, and be unpredictable. So, are we worth grinding for? I would say just get human race and upgrade it to version 2, and then just stop there. Unless they introduce like essence exchange. If they introduce, then it would be worth getting other ones. And staying away from like Fishman, just don't use it. Just get human and Oni, that's the two that you might need. But no, I hope this was informative for you, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching, and see you all next time. Bye bye.